Okay, hi there everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to the latest in our series of webinars that we're holding to mark International Week at the University of Roehampton. Some of you may have joined us for our semester at Roehampton webinar on Monday afternoon. We'll be circulating a recording to that webinar if you happen to miss it in the coming days, as well as today's session as well. So do look out for those. We'll be circulating those recording links to all partners. If you would also like access to that recording, please do contact us at the email address that's on your screen now. But for today's session, we're going to be focusing on our International Summer School at the University of Roehampton. We're going to be providing an overview on what students can expect from our summer program, how it's structured, the kind of academic experience we have on offer, as well as the broader social and cultural benefits of the summer school program that we'll be going into detail about as well. We will have opportunities throughout the session to answer any of your questions. You should hopefully see along the top of your Teams window an option to open the Q&A box. Please do make use of that at any point throughout the session to enter in any questions you have, and we'll make sure we get a chance to answer those during the session. But we'll get started with a few facts just about the University of Roehampton. So some of you may be familiar with us already, but for those of you who are new to Roehampton, we are a university based in southwest London. We're the only traditional campus university in the city. We have a beautiful 54-acre parkland campus nestled in our corner of London. I'll talk about the campus in detail a little more in a moment. We're also, as I said, we are based in southwest London, but we're about 30 minutes from the very heart of central London with some excellent transport links connecting us with all areas of the city. So we're a really excellent place to be based for students looking to explore the city during summer. The university itself has an educational heritage stretching back 175 years. Our campus is full of history, full of heritage and all sorts of things that students can discover and immerse themselves in while they're with us on campus. And in terms of the campus itself, we are in a beautiful green environment, one of the most open and expansive parts of the city, with huge amounts of green space, both on and in the area surrounding campus. The campus really comes into its own in the summer. It's a beautiful environment for students to be in, and all students will be living and learning on campus while they're here. It's a really excellent place to be. As I mentioned, we are the only university in London that has a traditional campus environment. So if students are coming to London for the first time, potentially even if it's their first time studying, traveling abroad, maybe even leaving their home state, it's a really great place to arrive. We have a safe, welcoming and inclusive environment on campus in quite a quiet and peaceful residential area of the city. So students are feeling a little bit daunted by the thought of going to a big global city for the first time and spending a few weeks living there. The campus provides a really great way to transition into that environment as students will arrive direct from the airport, get settled into their accommodation on campus, and they'll have a few days to get acclimatized to the city, get over the jet lag before they start exploring the wider world of London and the UK. So it's a really great way to ease yourself into that environment. Then in terms of the structure of the summer school itself, the summer school takes place every year in June and July, and it's divided into 2 3-week sessions. Students can choose to take either just the one 3-week session, or they can take both sessions back to back for a 6-week stay in total on campus. During each session, each 3-week session, students will be enrolled in one intensive module. So if students take both sessions for the 6-week option, then they'll take 2 modules consecutively back to back. All our modules are credit bearing, being worth either 10 or 20 UK credits. That's usually worth about 3 or 5 US credit hours. So it's worth exactly the same amount of credit as a standard semester module would be. So it's a great way to pick up credits over the summer. All our teaching will take place on campus, and students will be living right alongside their learning spaces in our on-campus accommodation. All students in the summer school will be housed together in the same block. So there'll be an opportunity to mix and mingle and get to know each other in their accommodation, as well as in classes and in social and cultural activities that we'll organise for students on campus and around London. And throughout the summer school, students will be supported by our dedicated study abroad team, which includes myself. My name's Nat. Also on the call today is my colleague Sophie, who will also be helping to lead on supporting and guiding students through the summer school and making sure they have as good an experience as possible. And then a little more about classes in terms of specifically what we have on offer. So these are some of the subject areas that we currently have classes offered in, that we currently offer classes for in the summer school. So that includes within our some of our sort of more well-established subjects for the summer schools are arts, humanities, and psychology classes. They've been running for a number of years, but we're also now undergoing an expansion of the offering in the summer school with a view to offering business and computing classes in 2023 for the first time. We will have a full list of classes available on our website by the end of this year. I'll go over a little bit in a very short while some examples of the classes we intend to have on offer. In terms of how the classes are structured, students will be in class every Monday to Thursday in the morning. Usually classes are about 3 hours a day, which leaves the afternoons open for students to explore London in their free time, and they also have Fridays off as well as the weekends, so that leaves plenty of time to get acquainted with the city and do a little bit of travelling around the UK and Europe. In addition to those morning classes as well, students will also have occasional field trips scheduled throughout the 3-week period. These will be activities that are directly related to the topics that students are studying in class, and will take you all across London as a way to really immerse yourself from an academic point of view in the environment and in the city you're learning about. As you'll see from this list of modules here, in general, we try and structure our modules in a way that really grounds them in the environment of London. You know, we want to make sure that if students are coming all the way to London to learn with us, that they're learning things or they're covering ground and covering topics that they wouldn't really have an opportunity to study in the same way anywhere else. And how we've achieved this is by grounding our modules in these practical activities outside of the classroom, visiting sites all across the city. So you'll see, for example, in your top left, a group of students at the British Museum. Those students are part of our module called Renaissance to Abstraction, a history of art in London museums. And in the bottom left, you'll also see a group of students at the Globe for our Introduction to the London Stage module. We're also, for the first time, running another module in the summer school in 2023 called Shakespeare in London, which will also absolutely include a trip to Shakespeare's reconstructed Globe on the south bank of the Thames, as well as a number of other theatres and locations around London, all related to London's theatre histories and traditions. More broadly, you know, you'll see topics such as classes such as Hidden London, which is a creative writing module, which will include walking tours all around the city, and will be combined. And those walking tours will be used both as prompts for students' own creative writing projects, as well as a lens through which to study works of fiction that have kind of risen out of the city from authors who have experience of living and writing in those areas of London. And then also as well, I've mentioned some of those newer modules in areas like business and computing. These will include, these modules will also draw upon London as a centre of commerce and technology in the modern world as well. So those will also all include interactive and immersive activities outside of the classroom to really ground students' learning in something material and concrete, not just being in a classroom and reading from textbooks. This is not an exhaustive list of classes by any means, and as I said, a full list as well as which of the 2 sessions these classes will be running in will be available by the end of 2022 in terms of what will be running in the summer of 2023. Okay, and then in addition to your time spent on campus in the classroom, campus will also be your home more broadly for the 3 or 6 weeks that you spend at Roehampton, as we guarantee on-campus accommodation for all our summer school students. In terms of what our accommodation offers, all students will be in standard accommodation. That includes a single occupancy bedroom, so students won't have to worry about having roommates. Their bedroom will be entirely their own for the time that they're on campus. They'll also share bathroom and kitchen facilities with students in their accommodation as well. We also provide a bedding and kitchen pack, so you don't need to worry about hauling any of those bulky items all the way from home. We'll have those waiting for you in your bedroom when you arrive. And as I've already mentioned, you'll be living alongside other students on the summer school who will all be staying on campus for a similar length of time and be having a similar experience. So it'll be a great opportunity for you to get to know the other students that you'll be living and learning with while you're on campus. You can see on screen there a couple of shots of a bedroom in the top left. That's a fairly standard layout for our accommodation. And then also a kitchen, as you can see, which is fully equipped with cookers, ovens, fridge freezers, and all various utensils and equipment that you'll need to prepare all your meals on campus. We do also have a number of food outlets around campus that will be open over the summer, where students can purchase meals in addition to preparing meals in their accommodation. Okay, and also while you're on campus, students will have access to a full range of support services at the university to make sure they have everything they need to succeed and to enjoy themselves while they're at Roehampton. I've already mentioned our dedicated study abroad team. We will be on hand at every point throughout the process, from the initial application stage through the pre-arrival period while students are getting ready to travel to London. And then throughout the programme and afterwards as well, the study abroad team can continue to provide a kind of first point of contact for students who have any questions at all about the summer school and about their experience on the programme. But in addition to that as well, there are a number of other services that students can reach out to. Our wellbeing service can provide support on any number of welfare issues that students may encounter while they're at Roehampton. Traveling abroad can be a challenging experience, even if it is just for a few weeks. So the wellbeing team are on hand to provide any kind of guidance and support that students might need to access. We also have an on-site disabilities team. So if students do feel like they would benefit from any reasonable adjustments related to disability or long-term health condition, whether that be adjustments made to their classes or to their accommodation, the disabilities team can absolutely make sure those adjustments are fulfilled. And then we also have a range of academic resources that students can interact with while they're on campus, from academic guidance and counselling to tutorials and one-on-one support with assessments and other aspects of classes that students might encounter challenges with while they're enrolled on the summer school. We provide, when students first arrive on campus, we provide a comprehensive orientation where we'll go through all of these support services and exactly how students can make contact with them while they're on campus. And I've got slightly ahead of myself there, actually. So our orientation program is, as I said, very comprehensive. We run a a kind of all very well-rounded pre-arrival program, which includes regular communications with students. From 6 weeks out from their arrival date, students will receive a newsletter from us every week with key bits of information broken down into kind of easily digestible chunks, so students are getting all the information they need in preparation for their arrival without feeling too overwhelmed. On arrivals day, for each of the 2 sessions, we will run a pickup service from Heathrow Airport. So student will have staff and student ambassadors present in the arrivals hall at Heathrow to meet students, welcome them to the UK, and then get them loaded onto coaches to take them to campus, where staff will get them checked into their accommodation. And then that night on our arrivals day, we'll also have a celebratory welcome meal to mark students' arrival on campus and make sure that they're settled in and having a chance to meet people on their first night. And as I said, the following day we'll have a day of orientation activities where students will get acquainted with all aspects of the summer programme so that they know exactly what to expect over the next few weeks on campus. And we'll also have an opportunity to ask any questions of the team as well. We'll also give them a campus tour so that they get the lay of the land. And then we'll also have a number of social activities scheduled throughout each of the sessions to kind of aid students in getting to know each other and just enjoying themselves and having a great time on campus. And with regards to social life, I've already mentioned that in addition to time spent in class, students will have plenty of free time to explore London. Obviously, students do a lot of their own exploring. Students travel all over the place, in my experience. A lot of them take trips over the weekends to different parts of the UK and even to different parts of Europe. London is obviously fantastically well placed for travel around Europe. We have connections by train, by ferry, and by plane to all sorts of major cities and destinations around Europe. So it's a really fantastic place for students to explore during the programme and afterwards as well. Once they've left campus, it's a great launch pad to take in a few more stops around Europe during the summer. I've mentioned as well, we'll have a number of on-campus events, so that will include events organised by our Students' Union. We do things like karaoke nights and traditional pub quizzes. We usually organise a 4th of July barbecue for any students who are missing Independence Day celebrations in the US. And then outside of campus as well, we also have an optional programme of 4 excursions that students can sign up to. For some students, that excursions package is actually already included in the programme fee that they'll pay to their home institution, if that's how they're enrolling in the summer school. So if you are a student and you're not sure if you're automatically included in the excursions package, then do check with your study abroad advisor at your home institution. But even if it's not automatically included for you, you can still sign up on an optional basis. The package includes 4 trips, all led by a qualified guide, and it includes trips both within London, so you can see some of our previous students on a tour around Tower Bridge, in the top left of your screen now, but it also includes a couple of trips outside of London as well. And the cost of programme will include travel to any of those locations. We visit places like Brighton, Oxford, Cambridge, Windsor, and lots of other places besides that. It also includes visits to attractions and landmarks like the Tower of London, as well as a visit to the West End for a theatre show as well. So it's a really great way to explore London and the wider UK with other students on the summer school programme. And then, as I said as well, students also have the opportunity to explore the city themselves while they're on the programme. You can see that green R in the southwest corner of the city there. That's where our campus is based. We're in a really great part of the city, a really green area. We're right next to Richmond Park, which is this big green space here. It's the largest public park in London. It's about 3 times the size of Central Park in Manhattan for a bit of a point of reference if that helps. And with that in mind, actually, summer is a great place, a great time to be in London, as it's the time of year where the sun actually comes out for us, which you may be aware is not necessarily consistent throughout the year. But during summer, it's a really great place to be in London because everyone's enjoying being outside. London's is one of the greenest capital cities in the world. You can visit all sorts of places. I've mentioned Richmond Park already. We've got a number of green spaces near us, like Wimbledon Common, Crystal Palace Park down in the southeast corner of your screen. But also, once you get into central London, you have places like Hyde Park, Primrose Hill, and loads of other great places to enjoy the sunshine. Hampstead Heath up in the north of London is a great place as well to explore the sunshine, enjoy the sunshine while in London over the summer. In terms of the summer calendar as well, London is really busy and bustling throughout the summer months. Every weekend has a food festival or street party or weekend of arts or cultural activities. So there's always something to explore. The London Pride Parade always coincides with the summer school as well. So the city really does come alive. It's alive all months of the year, obviously, but things really get to another level during the summer months as well. Another thing that the summer school coincides with usually as well is the Wimbledon Tennis Championships, which are actually just down the road from us in southwest London. And I hope this map also gives a bit of a sense of the kind of variety and diversity that London has to offer. Many of you will be familiar with some of those major landmarks in the City of London and Westminster, which are really worth a visit, of course. But all these neighbourhoods that are highlighted around the city really are their own hubs of activity that all have loads of things to do and explore. And we'll be emailing students every week with updates on things to look out for that are happening around the city that week to make sure students are never at a loss for what to do with their free time. So we're coming towards the end of the session now. So I'll move on to just briefly discuss the application process for the summer school. We'll be opening applications towards the end of 2022 for the 2023 summer school. We try and keep our application kind of as lean as possible. So for many of you, the process will actually start with applying to your home university through their study abroad office. So the first step I'd recommend all of you to take is, if you are a student, is get in touch with your study abroad advisor at your home institution to find out how the process works on their end and how you can take the first few steps to start your journey to Roehampton. And once you've done that part of the process, you'll then be invited to complete our own application for the summer school. There's really only two major bits of evidence that you need to submit as part of your application. That's a recent transcript showing a GPA of at least 2.8, or if you're in another system other than the US system, obviously you may use a slightly different grading system. If you do have a GPA of lower than 2.8, we can still consider your application. So do speak to us or your study abroad advisor about what additional evidence you can supply so that we can still consider your application if you do have a slightly lower GPA. In addition to that, the only other thing you'd need to provide us with is a personal statement of between 300 and 500 words explaining your reasons for wanting to join the programme. And the deadline for that application will be the 15th of April, so you'll have plenty of time to complete. As I said, we try and keep the process as minimal as possible to limit the number of barriers in terms of students applying for the programme. And if you do have any questions throughout the process, you can reach out to us at our email address, which is on the screen now. You can also visit our webpage to find out more about the summer school as well as our semester programme as well. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Roehampton Abroad to find out to see some of the content we produce documenting what our current students are getting up to, what events and activities we have coming up in the future. So do follow us on there to keep track of our activities. Other than that, I will leave that slide up for the moment, in case anyone wants to jot those details down. But I will open the session up now for any questions we might have. But other than that, thank you so much for listening or watching, if you're whether you've joined us live or whether you're watching the recording back afterwards. And we really hope to see you at our summer school very soon.